interesting matchup here, and we are live. Hey guys, how you going? So now Breakout Sport, we are live as Saudi Arabia are going to be taking on Senegal in an international friendly, the last one here for these two teams before the FIFA World Cup. It gets started up in just 2 days' time, and I'm actually really excited for this game. I'm really excited for this matchup because I think it is actually quite a sneaky one here. I think that this match could be anything. And again, I understand that it's just a friendly. I understand that we're just warming up ahead of the World Cup, starting with South Africa and Mexico on Friday before the South Korea versus Czechia game on Friday as well. But, I am looking forward to it because we are starting to learn a lot more about these teams coming into this World Cup. Last night, we obviously watched on as the Congo unfortunately struggled to score against the Chileans. And Chile obviously not out of this World Cup, but Congo very strong, but unfortunately just not able to have that clinical finishing ability. And that's going to be their biggest detriment. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how these two teams operate here. I really am, because I know a lot about Saudi Arabia. As an Australian, I watch them quite a lot, considering that they are in our Asian qualification for the World Cup. I do watch them quite frequently. And Senegal, I have watched at times. I do watch from time to time, but I don't get a great deal of time to watch them because they are in Africa. But they are a very, very strong team in Africa, and they do have some very quality players like your Sadio Mane's and your Iliman Days and Sharif and Dia. They do have some really quality players, Kalidou Kalibali. So that's why we're really looking forward to, even though it's an international friendly, it should be a good game here. But let's get into this game before it starts in 10 minutes time. So obviously hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We are absolutely punching through international football right now and the World Cup. We do right after this game, we do have Argentina taking on Iceland in their last international friendly. Now, in regards to Saudi Arabia today, they've got a 4-4-2 playing along. Their goalkeeper is Mohamed Alawais. If I mispronounce and I butcher these names, I am trying my best. If you would like to correct me on pronunciation, please help me out in the chat. I do want to keep on learning and keep on understanding how to pronounce these names better. Mohamed Alawais is the goalkeeper, with the backline being Abdullah Al-Amri, Hassan Altam Bakhti, Saud Abdul Hamid, and Moteb Arhabi. And then you go to the midfield, which is Nasser Al-Dawsari, Musab Al-Jawai, Abdullah Al-Khahibir Bari, Mohamed Abu Arshamat, and then the attack is Faraz Arbrikan and Salem Al-Dawsari. Then you go to the substitutions, Ahmed Al-Qassar, Abdul Qudus, Atia, Ali Madrashi, Ali Lajami, Nawaf Bu Washol, Hassan Khadish, Jihad Thikri, Ayman Yaya, Ziyad Al-Johani, Ala Al-Haji, Mohammed Kano, Saleh Al-Sheri, Khalid Al-Ghanam, Abdullah Al-Hadam, and Sultan Mandash, with Georgios Donis as the manager. I tell you what, is 5:50 a.m. for me in the morning. 5:50 a.m. and I have done my very best there with the I've done my absolute very, very best there with those pronunciations. But look, it is a very, very strong team here for Saudi Arabia. They come into this World Cup and into these friendlies, not necessarily proving themselves an amazing deal. They haven't won a game in a while, actually, Saudi Arabia. So, look, they did beat Puerto Rico 3-0, but Puerto Rico, unfortunately, aren't exactly a massive team to be riding home about in regards to, in terms of quality. When we look at Puerto Rico, they are not in the top 50. Where are they, actually? Let's go have a look here. I'm still scrolling here. I just want to see, because that was their last win in quite some time, to be fair. They took on Puerto Rico in that friendly. I can't even find them here in regards to, I'm sure they're there. I actually can't find them. Where are they here on this on these rankings? Are they here? They're 154th. So Saudi Arabia took on Puerto Rico in their most recent friendly matchup. And again, Puerto Rico are 154th alongside the likes of Fiji, the Solomon Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, and New Caledonia. And they won 3-0, but also that is absolutely fully expected, and I probably would have expected even more so. Prior to that, they did take on Ecuador, who are the second best team in South America right now. They did lose 2-1. Not a terrible result there. It's only the one goal. Obviously coming in, that was about just a week and a half ago and just an international friendly, but I don't think it's a bad result for them there. Only the one goal loss. Serbia, they lost 2-1. Serbia, unfortunately, will not be at this World Cup. They did lose to Egypt, though, 4-0. Which is a big, big loss there because Egypt aren't looking necessarily at their greatest right now. But you do have the likes of Omar Mamouche and also Mohamed Salah. But that is a big loss there. When they played in the FIFA Arab Cup back late last year, they drew with the United Arab Emirates 0-0 in the match for third place. They'd lost to Jordan, who we watched the other day against Colombia, 1-0. They beat Palestine 2-1 in the quarterfinal. And they did lose to a very, very strong Moroccan team, 1-0. And we are all looking at that Moroccan team saying, well, hey, listen, this team could do something. They could do a little bit of damage here at this World Cup, this Moroccan team. So a 1-0 loss there is respectable for sure. Did lose 2-0 to Algeria, who are at this World Cup. Drew 0-0 with Iraq, who are at this World Cup. 1-1 back late last year with Czechia, who was at this World Cup. And also beat Ivory Coast 1-0, who are at this World Cup. And I think 2023, they won the AFCON, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong there. An interesting one here, though, is that they only won 3-2 against Indonesia. And that was back October 9th of last year, 3-2. They also had a red card in that game. It wasn't the 90th minute with Mohamed Kano, though. So you look at the form and you go, it's very difficult to pick this one out. It's very difficult to understand where this Saudi Arabian team actually is at, because there's a couple of games against really big opposition where you're like, well, it's not that bad of a loss. They haven't won the game, but it's not that bad of a loss. It's very, very close. But then, you know, the ones that they've won, the games that they've won is just against not exactly fantastic opposition, which is Palestine, which is Puerto Rico, which is Comoros, and Ivory Coast is probably their best result in the last year, really, in terms of a big-time quality result that leaves no questions unanswered and just says, yeah, no, this is a good result. I would say the Ivory Coast is really the only one. So that does worry me a tiny little bit. It does. It worries me a bit, especially considering they're going into a group that has Uruguay, Spain, and Cabo Verde. Now, Cabo Verde is a team they definitely should be beating on their books, but you know, Senegal, but Spain, gee whiz, you know, they have beaten Argentina at the World Cup before, so maybe they could go and surprise again. But Spain and Uruguay is going to be very, very tough for Saudi Arabia. Now, in regards to Senegal, their starting lineup is Edouard Mendy with the back line. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. Their back line is Mamadou Sarr, Krépin Diatta, Moussa Niakate, and El Hadji Malik Diouf. The midfield is the famous Sadio Mane, a very, very good player, with Iliman Ndiaye, Habib Diarra, Pate Sis, and Lamine Camara, with the striker being Sharif Ndiaye. The substitutions: Yevan Diouf, Mori Diaw, Kalidou Koulibaly, Abdoulaye Seck, Ismail Jacobs, Antoine Mendy, Mamadou Mbo, Idrissa Gana Gueye, Pape Matar Sarr, Bara Sapoko Ndiaye, Papa Gueye, Bamba Dieng, Nicholas Jackson, Ismaila Sarr, and Ibrahim Mbi, with the manager being Mbappe Theo. Look, this team does have some quality stars in it. Mendy's very good. Mamadou Sarr, very good. A lot of people will know, obviously, Sadio Mane, and they would have heard of Lamine Camara. And you do know Ndiaye, and then you've got Diouf off the bench, who is actually a really enjoyable player to watch too. Antoine Mendy is not a bad name there. So they do have some recognisable names here in the Senegalese team. And their form recently, they're coming into a group that has Norway, France, and Iraq. That's an amazing group, dude. That is a really difficult group. It probably is the group of death, really. That is so difficult to get out of. Especially for them. Like, Iraq is going to be a real spicy team, and Norway, obviously, they've got some quality players, and they do have some quality football they're playing. And then the French, they are one of the World Cup favourites, if not the World Cup favourite. So that's going to be such a difficult group here for the Senegalese. Now, this is also coming after their recent form where they did play the USA last week and lost 3-2 to the Americans, which is interesting. They did beat the Gambia 3-1 in a friendly. They beat Peru 2-0 in a friendly. And then in the African Cup of Nations in the final, unfortunately, they got Pampamundos. They got beat 3-0 by the Moroccans. And again, that Moroccan team is very good. But when we did compare it, I think Saudi Arabia lost, 3-1? And was it 3-1 for Saudi Arabia? I can't remember. No, it might have been just the 1-0. I can't remember what we saw before. Again, forgive me, it's very early in the morning here. But they did lose to the Moroccans 3-0 in the final, but regardless, they were in the final. Their Senegal and finals can go anyway. They beat Egypt 1-0. They beat Mali again 1-0. And they beat Sudan 3-1. Benin 3-0, even with a red card. And they drew 1-1 with the DR Congo. And like I was saying before, the Congo are actually a pretty good team to watch. They're actually a pretty strong team. It's just unfortunate they don't have the quality in front of goal because they played really well for the most part yesterday against Chile, but they just did not know how to put the ball in the back of the net. They just could not do it. So a 1-1 result there against, and their defense is very good, the Congo. Their defense is strong. So a 1-1 result there I'm pretty happy with overall. But you look across these fixtures and it seems like their defense is definitely something that can give up some goals because they gave up 3 to the Moroccans, they gave up 3 to the Americans. They still gave up a goal to the Gambia there, who obviously would be ranked quite low. So this is a very, very big test here going. They need to bounce back from that loss to the USA. You need to bounce back from that and come in with some really strong confidence ahead of the opening matchup against France. As an Australian, who you guys know, Senegalese won't know anything really about, but as an Australian, I can tell you, playing France in the first game of World Cup is a big yikes. We played them in the last World Cup in 2022 in the opening game of Qatar. We did score the opening goal. Yippee, wow, hello, we're flying. And then we lost 4-1. Yes, that is what happens when you play Le Good Old French. So, look, if I was to make a prediction here today, you look at the two different levels of rankings. Where are these two teams ranked right now? So, we're looking for Senegal. They can't be this low. No, they wouldn't be that. No, I've gone past them. Saudi Arabia, they are ranked in 61st. The Saudi Arabians are currently ranked 61st in the world on the FIFA World Rankings, which is around the likes of Slovenia, South Africa, Burkina Faso, Jordan, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Honduras. That's that kind of area. You can argue Iraq and Qatar, who are at this World Cup. And then for Senegal, where are they? Are they going to be in between the 20s, maybe, around the Australia section? No, they're 15th. Wow. They are 15th. So there is a big switch up here. Senegal are 15th, which is in the likes of Mexico, Colombia, Italy, Uruguay, USA, Japan, and Switzerland. So based off of those FIFA rankings, you really are liking the Senegalese here. You are. And they do have some pretty strong players. But I just know that while Saudi Arabia may not be the biggest dogs when it comes to world football, it may not be the absolute big dogs, they do know how to pull up with a result, and they do now. And we all know that the Saudi domestic league has been growing in the last few years, and they're really looking to establish the football program in Saudi Arabia on a worldwide, global level. So am I going to completely write them off? No, I'm going to predict that the Senegalese get a win after their loss to the USA, which I think they'd be quite disappointed with. I'm going to predict that Senegal get the win, but it is an international friendly, and at the end of the day, you never really know how these matches are going to go, and they could completely just go anywhere. It could be absolutely anything. So that's our preview here today. Senegal, I'm going to back in. I'll just back in for a 2-1, but I could easily see a 3-2, and I could easily see a 3-1 kind of deal. Like when we look at the average goals for Senegal, 2.33 is what they usually get on average, 1.25 for Saudi Arabia, and then the average goals conceded is 1.33 for Senegal and 2 goals conceded for Saudi Arabia. So typically, on average, the Senegalese do score over over 1 goal more per game, and the average goals conceded is 0.7 less than what Saudi Arabia is at. So the average goal difference is +1 for Senegal and minus 0.8 for the Saudi Arabians. And the shot on target percentage is 60% to Senegal, 36% there to Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia commit a lot more fouls, 46 fouls committed to 18. Gee whiz, that is something there. That is absolutely something there. But all right, guys, let's get into the chat. Let's see what you are saying. Let me know your thoughts in the chat as we wait for this game to start. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. And we're just waiting for this game to get underway. They are out in the field. Nelson says you should do a scan watch. No, we will not be doing that, bro. That's not, no. No, that's not what we do. Lone says, where is the game? Well, due to broadcast restrictions, I can't show you the game. It would be illegal for me to do that, and we would get taken down immediately on YouTube, but we will be commentating the game, letting you know exactly how it goes whilst we talk in the chat. Astar Entertainment says, hi, mate, back again. Looking forward to this one. We'll be interested to see how Senegal do. Yeah, again, Senegal should be winning this game. They really should be. But there's no guarantees with this area of the World Cup teams and the where these kind of teams are ranked. Like Senegal, you definitely should be expecting a lot out of that 15th position. 15th is massive. That is very, very high. So you should be expecting a great deal out of them. However, Saudi Arabia can pull up a result. They really can. Paul Evans says, Senegal should do well this World Cup. I expect them to do better than the Socceroos. Well, what has that got to do with anything with the Socceroos? Like, what's that? What's Senegal got anything to do with the Socceroos? The Socceroos are, like, are you Australian or are you non-Australian? Because if you're non-Australian, that doesn't make any sense. If you're Australian, it somewhat makes sense, but what are the Socceroos to do with Senegal? They're in a completely different group, and Senegal are ranked in 15th. The Australians are ranked in 27th. Like, I don't understand the shot for Australia there for absolutely no reason. It's Marty says, how you doing? I'm tired, man, I'm not gonna lie. I was up until about 1 a.m. my time for the Congo taking on Chile, and then I've had about 4 hours sleep, and then we're straight into this game here for Senegal versus Saudi Arabia, and then obviously right after this we've got Argentina taking on Iceland in their final World Cup warm-up match. So yeah, pretty tired, mate, but we've got a big World Cup ahead of us, and tonight we've only got the one game that we need to do, which is England versus Costa Rica later on today. Later on tonight for me, and then we're straight into it. Mexico versus South Africa, and South Korea versus Czechia. The World Cup starts in literally 2 days' time, so yeah, it's getting excited. It's getting exciting. All right. So I've got now my commentary that I have for this game here at Toyota Field. Is this Toyota Field in New Orleans? So where is this? San Antonio, of course it is. Yeah, Toyota Field in San Antonio is where this game is. But I have a Arabic commentary right now in my ear, and I can promise you I don't know a lick about Arabic. I do not have a single understanding of any word of Arabic, so this is going to be this is going to be an interesting stream, man. This is going to be an interesting stream. Paul says, any upsets you like? Okay, but Paul, I need to ask you, why did you bring Australia up just then? Like, what was the whole point? What was the point of saying Senegal should do better than the Socceroos in this World Cup? They have absolutely no relation together. Paul says, any upsets you like in the first group games? I like Bosnia over Canada. Well, I don't even really think that's too much of an upset, really. Yeah, sure. Bosnia definitely can get a win there over Canada. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just go to the FIFA World Cup group stages. So this game has started here, by the way, guys, and it will be Saudi Arabia starting off with the ball. Jeez, I tell you what, Arabic commentary is a trip, man. It is an absolute trip. Senegal go down the left-hand wing here with Sadio Mane. And that's going to go over the sideline. For a throw-in. 450 is an upset. Yeah, but that's literally that they are literally basing that on the world rankings. I'm telling you that is not, like, for me, that's not actually that major of an upset whatsoever. You know, Canada's okay. They're okay, but I'm telling you, it's not really that significant of an upset. In my personal opinion, odds-wise it is, so I think it's great value there of 450. I think it's fantastic value of 450. But overall, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's that dramatic. But hold on, the stream of the game's just gone down here. The stream of the game has just gone down, so I need to get this back up. At the very, very start, hold on 1 second. Let's add that bad boy there. And then that's just got Argentina versus Iceland. What's going on here? What's going on? It's gone all over the shop. Everything's just gone tits up very, very quickly here. The game was on, and then it has just been cut. Get what you're saying, but to the bookies, not. Okay, again, man, I'm aware. I've said I'm aware, bro, that it is a 450. I'm telling you, it's good odds. I'm saying the value is there, so I'm quite literally agreeing with you. I'm very well aware of what the bookies are suggesting, and I'm very well aware that it is technically classed as an upset, and that is based on the fact that Canada are ranked up around the 30s, and Bosnia and Herzegovina, what are they? They're about dead set in the 70s or 60s or something like that. We spoke about that yesterday. So yes, I'm aware, but I'm agreeing with the point that an upset is actually a great chance in that game, and the value is absolutely there. But anyway, okay, so the game is back on now. We've got that rocking and rolling. Well, hopefully in a moment. Now it's just loading as we speak. Where is Canada actually ranked, to be fair? They're ranked in the 30th, yeah. All right, so Saudi Arabia now have the ball, and they're going to put this ball down into the right wing. There's not a great deal of a crowd here. It is only an international friendly, to be fair. It is an international friendly, but the crowd is definitely on the quite lower side. I appreciate you, Hunt, for sending the jewels. Get around you, man. Appreciate you for the support of the channel. Oh, this is going to be an absolute pain in regards to this stream here today. So I wonder if Saudi Arabia, I wonder if they're going to come in here and really demand the possession in this game. I wonder if they're really going to encourage the possession and try and break down the Senegalese in regards to possession, or they're just going to allow this to turn into a fast-paced, speedy game, which is probably what the Senegalese would like. And again, Saudi Arabia do concede, on average, more goals than Saudi Arabia by a full 0.7. I like Algeria did well against Argentina. I can't back that one. Can back the first one, can't back that one. But Algeria do have one slip-up per tournament, realistically. Nearly had a slip-up to the Socceroos in the previous tournament. So Saudi Arabia here, they're going to put this ball in the box. It's a great chance to open up for them. And that's going to be... Oh, a save has had to come out. A save has had to come out here early doors from Edouard Mendy. There was nearly a great chance of that one to sneak in at the near post, but the keeper will be there to prevent it from going in. It stays 0-0, 3 minutes 50 in. Good start there from Saudi Arabia. Very good start. Very good start. Jess says, good evening. Good morning. 6:12 a.m. for me. Again, we were upstreaming 4 hours ago, so we are doing our absolute best. We've got a great view right now. We've got two hopefully quality games, and actually we'll be live later on tonight for England versus Costa Rica, Jess, where the English will be having their final hit out. Their final hit out before the World Cup gets underway. I don't know if this is a bookies upset. This is for you, Paul. I don't know if this is a bookies upset or what the odds are suggesting here, but Japan should beat the Netherlands for mine. I think Japan should beat the Netherlands. They look quality in this pre-World Cup. They look quality in terms of recent form over the last year or so, and guys like Junta Ito is really going to be a tough one to stop. And Japan are a very tough team. As an Australian, we know all about that because we play them all the time. I know we beat them in our most recent matchup with them, I think 3-1. And I think that might have been in Japan. I can't remember if that was in Japan or if that was in Australia. But Japan have a fantastic shout of coming first in their group. Fantastic shout. And I think that they probably should go into that game as favourites against the Netherlands, but I know that they won't. And they'll put this ball into the in-goal, and it's just going to go straight for the Saudi keeper. Straight to the Saudi keeper. 5.5 minutes to go. What other matches happened overnight, actually? What were the other matches that happened overnight around the world? Hungary ended up winning 3-1 over Kazakhstan. Togo won. Oh, yeah. There you go. Where's Nath J? Where's Nath J? I told him this was a crazy matchup. Nath J came in and said that he's putting a bet on over 2.5 in pretty much every game except for, wait for it, Togo versus Benin. And I said, that's like, why? Why have you just randomly decided to go under 2.5 for Togo versus Benin? Well, anyway, that ended up being 5-1. Yeah, Togo ended up winning that game 5-1. So not the greatest of shouts there for Sir Nath J on the over and under in the Togo Benin game. But that is what it is. At least he got the over and under in the last few seconds with a couple of late goals in Congo versus Chile. Okay, so Saudi Arabia, they're going to push this ball out to the left wing. They've got the better opportunities right now. They're the ones pushing. They're going to put this ball just outside the edge of the box. And great defense there from the Senegalese. And they're now going to push away from their own area. Wow, you get around your Sundo. Get around. Yeah, here we go. Were you, Sundo, I don't know if I saw this comment last night. Were you here for the infamous Saudi Arabia versus Australia game of 2023? Were you here for that? I can't remember if you probably would have been, surely. You probably would have been cracking around for it. 7 minutes gone. And Saudi Arabia trying to get a bit of their possession in the defense at the moment. They're just passing this ball around and just trying to soak up some pressure because, you know, they've actually been the ones putting the front foot here and they're just going to boot that ball long and it's going to come away for Senegal. That's not what you're going to do. And then they'll clear this one away. I don't think I was actually on that for that stream. It was not so. No, I do not believe that Congo can get a win this World Cup pool. After having watched them last night, I can tell you right now that they are going to struggle to score. They have a very, very difficult group, and I just struggle to see them scoring. They have in their group, where is it again? Portugal, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. I don't think they score against Uzbekistan, which would be their second best chance. I think their best chance actually may be Colombia. But they're not scoring against Portugal. I'm telling you, they do not know how to score. They actually played really well in regards to the back line. They played really well in the midfield, but the midfield deliveries, he's offside. It'll be offside. At 100% it's offside. There's the offside. Their midfield deliveries were just simply not good enough. But the midfield was dominated to get the ball into the attacking range, but just no good ball to the attackers to put the ball in the back of the net, and then the attackers had no ability to put the ball in the back of the net. Elias says both teams score. I don't mind it, yeah. Yeah, I think the both teams score could be a good shout, Elias. I think so. Senegal definitely should be scoring here. And Saudi Arabia, I would fancy them to get a goal. Was it at Combank or a call? I think it may have been at Melbourne, if I'm honest with you, mate. I think it may have been at Melbourne. Yeah, I think it might have been. It could have been an Amy. I can't remember. But we needed... Oh, here we go. Chance of Saudi Arabia. Good steal, good steal, good steal. Good steal. Good steal. That's going to be saved. And that's going to be cleared off the line from Senegal. That was a fantastic chance. Definitely the best chance of the game so far for the Saudis. And they're trying to complain for a penalty, but all their wishes are being just said, nah, get out of my face. So 10 minutes gone here, guys. Still 0-0. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Great chance there for Saudi Arabia, but it will not come away. But yeah, we needed to win. Otherwise, we had to go through the extra qualifiers, which ended up with us playing Peru. Obviously, we lost 1-0, and we got absolutely obliterated here on this stream, saying, we're not going to the World Cup, and Saudi Arabia are, and ha 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 ha. We got laughed down our throats. We actually ended up having the better World Cup too. We did. We did actually end up having that better World Cup. That was a very nice opportunity there for Saudi Arabia. If they had been able to lift that ball, if they could have just lifted that ball, you might have had something there. But unfortunately, it just went straight to keep it on the ground. All right, 10.5 minutes gone. This has been exciting so far, though. Both teams are throwing a little bit of speed around and throwing some pace into the air. Oh, you're probably at that game. Okay, yeah, that would make sense. I think it was actually in Melbourne though, but again, it was a must win. You could be right. You can Google it. Maybe that'd help us out. But I think it may have been in Melbourne. Actually, I'll Google it while we're here. 2023 Socceroos. No, 2022 Socceroos, Saudi Arabia, or it could have been even 2021. Oh no, it was in Saudi Arabia. My bad. No, it was an away game. No, my bad. It was an away game. It was in 2022 apparently, and it was in Jeddah. Apparently, lost 1-0. Yes, yes, that's right. Yeah, that's the one. I don't think I was on stream though. It was something else, mate. It was something else. All right, so they put this ball down at the corner, and now it's going to be Saudi Arabia who get the ball back at the midfield. I do rate that they've had the better of the opportunity so far, though. I do rate that. 11 and a half minutes in. They have been the ones putting on that pressure, that attack and pressure. But it is still 0-0, regardless. Chuck says, what are you watching on? I watch it on VIPbox.tv. I really, by the World Cup, I'm not going to be relying on VIPbox.tv because watching this game here today is currently a pain through this service. But I'm going to jump on the VPN and watch it on SPS in Australia. But for the time being, I have to suffer through what I'm watching as we speak. So yeah, I watched it on VIPbox.tv as we speak, though. Wonder what the weather's like here today. Looking forward to the hydration break that we're going to get. Looking forward to the hydration break. Senegal, here's a chance. No, that's good defense there from Saudi Arabia to prevent that from becoming dangerous. They prevent that from becoming dangerous, and Saudi Arabia will clear the bad boy away. Dude, this is a punish to watch this game today on this stream. Yeah, I do definitely need to use the old VPN and watch it on SPS or something like that. I just don't know if the international friendlies are on SPS, considering that these are friendlies and not the actual World Cup. The actual World Cup itself is going to be on the main service there. That'll be on the main service. 13 minutes gone here. Senegal haven't actually had a shot so far, though. Again, they've been able to push the ball up, but they haven't had exactly a shot so far. They're the ones with the ball right now playing at the back. Sutton says, I just remember the Grey Wiggle knocking out Peru to make the World Cup and then see him at the local pub not long after that. He lives in my area. The Grey Wiggle. I don't even know about this. Dude, we had a massive stream for that Peru vs Australia World Cup qualifier. A lot of people here. All right, so here's the best chance for Senegal this entire game so far. They've got the ball in the corner. They can whip that ball across, and that's going to go in, and that's going to not go exactly where they would have liked it to. Went straight to the keeper, and it will stay 0-0. Very close, though. Oh, Andrew Redmayne. Okay, yeah, I remember now. I get your reference of the Grey Wiggle. Was this where he kept like going like this to get him to come and then just went like crazy? That was good times. He was nicknamed the Grey Wiggle after he saved the pen dancing around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember that now. This was definitely Senegal's best chance of the game so far, though. They put that ball into a pretty good area in the box. It was a free header, but that's a very difficult sell. Like, it's out just on the edge, inside the box, but just on the edge of the box, and he puts a header onto it and puts a powerful header behind it, but it goes straight to the keeper in the middle of the goal. So no real threat in regards to scoring, but at the end of the day, it was a free header in the box. Whatever happened to Andrew Redmayne? He didn't really have too much consistency after that World Cup, did he? I don't think he did. Like, for example, he's not still playing now, is he? How old is Andrew Redmayne? I don't know a great deal about the A-League, to be fair. Andrew Redmayne. He is 37 years old. I wouldn't put it past him still playing. He's an Australian professional football player who plays the goalkeeper for the Central Coast Mariners, so he's still cracking on for the Mariners. Fair enough. Got dropped from Sydney FC 2 years after, then went to Central Coast, yeah. Didn't Central Coast win the A-League? I swear they did. Was it last year or the year beforehand? They won like 5-0 or 6-0 in the final. Something ridiculous. So Senegal playing this ball out the back right now. They've got Sadio Mane with some speed. Here we go. Sadio Mane. Very good defense. That is some very, very strong defense from Saudi Arabia to prevent Sadio Mane getting away. That was Saud Abdul Hamid. Very good stuff. I think it was last year. What do you mean you think it was last year? You're the massive A-League aficionado here, Sundo. What you mean? What you mean you think it was last year? How do you not know, sir? You're the one. You're the A-League man. You are one of maybe 14 A-League fans in Australia. Think it was last year, gee whiz. So they whacked that one, and now Senegal will get this ball around the halfway line. But Saudi Arabia take it, and then they're just going to whack this one into the attacking half, but they'll go over for a throw-in for Senegal. Yeah, Senegal just had to keep utilising this speed. But with that being said, the Saudi defense today actually, speed-wise, has been able to keep up with them in terms of getting back. 23-24, sorry. Oh, see what I mean, Sunday? You know, you see what I mean here? Get a grip of yourself, really. You know, get a grip of yourself, really. All right, here we go. Here's some space, but the centre-back there for Senegal should have got up in the line there to get that ball and to push some attack down the left wing, but he stayed back and had to force the left winger to rush back, which is Sadio Mane. All right, now they get the ball through the middle, and Saudi Arabia will steal it. City won last year in the Melbourne Derby. That's right, I remember that. 17 minutes gone here. All right, now they'll try and flood this down the left wing, and it's going to go straight to Saudi Arabia where they can counter. They've got some space down the left wing themselves. Nothing's going to happen there, though. Nothing's going to happen there. Shopet Twifango says, Lamine Yamal about to carry Spain on his back in the World Cup. Lamine Yamal should be fantastic, but there is still some significant concerns regarding his hamstring. There is a lot of discussion still being had about that. So whilst, you know, everyone on the... If you guys haven't joined our FIFA World Cup Fantasy League yet, then the pinned comment is in the chat. Join our FIFA World Cup Fantasy League. But there is still concerns. That's a good tackle here from Senegal. They've got a chance here. That's a great tackle. They put this ball just at the edge of the box, and that is going to be a free kick into Senegal right on the edge of the box. You cannot get closer than this. Where can I watch the game? Due to broadcaster restrictions, man, I cannot show you the game because that would be illegal. Best I can do is commentator for you and let you know what's happening. And it's still 0-0, but there's going to be a free kick here to the Senegalese right on the edge of the box by half a metre. Half a metre. We saw a fantastic couple of goals last night. We saw two screamers from Chile last night against the Congo. And if the Congo are going to concede, it's typically from a screamer, and they gave up those two goals via screamers yesterday. I have a bet on Senegal. Well, here's a good chance for you. Here is a fantastic chance for Senegal then, because they are just outside the box by maybe about a metre, a little bit to the left. Let's see if they can curl it in. Last night we saw a fantastic curled goal in from the Chileans against the DR Congo. Sadio Mane, he's the one looking to take this free kick. Don't forget, guys, we've got Argentina versus Iceland right after this. We've had 20 minutes gone here. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. 20 minutes gone so far. And they whip it in, and that's going to go away for a corner. No, I don't think that's a handball. The Senegalese are trying to claim a handball there, but I do not think so. I do not think so. Or maybe I can see the argument for it, but no, the arms are still technically at his body. I can hear the argument for it, but the arms are still at the body. It should be sweet. But a corner coming up for Senegal regardless. I'm actually surprised, considering gamblers do tune into the streams. I'm surprised we have not had a single person talk about corners yet. It's usually what you hear. It's usually what you see from people. All right, corner from Senegal. Can we see a head get thrown at this one and into the back of the net? They put this in, and that's going to be pushed out from Saudi Arabia. Still good ball movement out here on the left wing. And now it's back into the centre. Have a crack. Have a whip from outside the box. Have a whip from outside the box. Good defense, Saudi Arabia. Very, very good defense. And Senegal will get this ball at the back, and now they're going to have to push it all the way back to their goalkeeper. I want to know if Julian. I want to know who is playing as the main attacking focal figure of Argentina. I want to know, because I know Messi's not going to play this World Cup friendly. I want to know who plays it as their main focal figure in this friendly. Is it Lautaro Martinez or is it Julian Alvarez? Because it will tell you a lot about the pecking order at Argentina in regards to who does get that gig. Okay, Senegal in the right corner, on the right wing. Nothing too much is happening over here, however. Good defense from Saudi Arabia. The defense isn't typically amazing. And again, they just get this ball away and they're going to be able to play it out of the back too. Very congested backline, very congested defense there amongst the plenty of Senegalese attackers. But Saudi Arabia just came up trumps with it. But now they're going to put this ball away back to around their goalkeeper. And then they whack it up. And this is going to be a header from Senegal. And that will go surely over the sideline. No, Saudi Arabia can smack it here. They whip this ball across. Okay, there's speed here. There's speed here. There's speed here. And it goes over the sideline. The ball was so speedy that it went over the damn well sideline. No, that's not what you want. That's not what you want at all. Not what you want at all. Well, for everyone who's here, I want to know, for the people who watch, who is your team? Because I know we don't just have Australians anymore. We have people from all over. Who is your team for this World Cup? And I also want you to give me in the chat, who is your upset team? Who is your spicy team that could go far that no one believes? Your bold take. Give me your boldest take about this World Cup. And if it's Australia to win the World Cup, it's not a bold take. It's the most obvious take ever. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If it's Nestori Irankunda to score the most goals in this World Cup, I'm asking for a bold take, not a serious take, not a guaranteed take. So tell me what you think in regards to who will be your biggest upset team and also who you support. There is going to be a drinks break here. There is going to be a hydration break. As you guys know, I think it might actually be a little bit warmer here. San Antonio weather. Drinks break makes sense here. 32 degrees. Jared said, I think that bloke has convinced me with Japan going far, not winning it, but going far. Well, this is what I've been saying. He definitely convinced me, and I've been going on and on and on about Japan myself. I've been going on and on and on about him, and I'm really excited with Junta Ito. And I think that they've got a great chance to get through the group. And I think that they are. I think if we have a World Cup where all the big dogs are slightly off, I think Japan could actually go and do it. But I don't think they will. But it would be amazing. Taylor says, I bet on Saudi Arabia. Well, they would have been the underdogs. Yeah, okay. Well, it's still 0-0 here. I will say I'd be pretty happy. I'd be pretty content with it. Senegal have definitely had more of the attacks and they've been putting on more of the pressure. But the Saudis have been keeping up with them. They have been. They've been keeping up with them pace-wise. Football Archive says, for me, USA, Norway making it to the quarters. Norway. Okay, I like it. I like it. I really struggle to agree with the USA. I think that they are a false commodity right now. Let's go and have a look at their recent form. Hold on, I need to get this up. I really feel like they're a bit of a false commodity, man. Like, let's go into their recent games. They lost 2-1 to Germany. I don't think Germany were anywhere near their best, really, but it's still, at least it was only one goal loss. They did beat Senegal 3-2, but they lost to Portugal 2-0. They got smacked by Belgium 5-2. They did beat Uruguay 5-1. They just got past Paraguay 2-1 with Paraguay getting a red card. They struggled to get past Australia. They won 2-1. To be fair, they did beat Japan, but they also lost to South Korea, which is interesting. Definitely wouldn't expect that one. Lost to Mexico. Struggled to get past Haiti 2-1. Against Costa Rica, they only won in penalties. Obviously, Costa Rica not in this World Cup. So, look, and I did ask you. I did say, like, I want to hear your bold takes people don't agree with. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that one based off of... I just feel like they're getting overhyped, which is what we see from, like, England every single year. It just seems like the Americans are getting hyped beyond oblivion, and we're getting told that Pulisic is the greatest player of all time. And you're just like, what are you talking about? They're saying like Pulisic would start for every single English Premier League team. I can promise you that Pulisic is not starting for Man City, and I can promise you with all my heart he's not making the bench of Manchester City. I promise you. For people who hear this stuff coming out of America and they go, oh, okay, Pulisic is like the LeBron James. I love America, but that's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous that what we hear about Pulisic. Joppe says, why do I have England going to have disappointing... Why do I think England are going to have a disappointing World Cup? Well, what World Cup isn't disappointing for England? I guess if they didn't make the semis, they'd be disappointed because they've made the semis the last couple of times. They just can't make it to the final. I think Thomas Tuchel should take them far. Thomas Tuchel should get them to at least a point. Star Entertainment says, I would love to see England to win, but I think Spain will take it. And after their 4-0 win over Bolivia, I'm going Scotland as a dark horse. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too, Star Entertainment. Yeah, no, massive 4-0 win against Bolivia. And that now makes the Scots the favourites for the Underdog World Cup. That makes the Scots now the big dogs. I'm watching them. Scott McTominay. Bit of Scott McTominay, bit of Johnny McGinn. I tell you what, Scotland, they're on fire. Gee whiz. Everyone, you need to build a bunker. The Scots are going to win because they beat Bolivia 4-0. Where's Bolivia ranked in the world rankings? This is going to be a free kick to Senegal right on the edge of the box out the right, so they're going to be able to whip a bad boy in. Where's Bolivia ranked? I don't think it's in the top 50. It's not. Where is it? Bolivia. I'm still scrolling, folks. 77. So Bolivia are in the same range as Kosovo, Oman, Montenegro, Israel, Finland, Iceland, Georgia. Massive win there. Star. Santa says the Americans have the worst takes when it comes to football. Dude, Instagram is just an absolute cesspit for Americans who are just there to shit on Australia, big up America, and then not have a clue of what they're talking about with Turkey and why is my brain gapping in regards to our other team right now? Turkey at Paraguay. 1 second. So big whip in here. Oh, it's a big shot, but it will go into the top of the net. So it will stay 0-0 here. That was a cracker opportunity from just outside the box, but the free kick will hit the top netting. So they have no idea what they're talking about in regards to Paraguay. They have no idea what they're talking about in regards to Turkey, but because Turkey is regarded as a strong team, they at least give them respect. I commented on an Instagram reel yesterday. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can follow me at Breakout Sport. But I commented on an Instagram reel yesterday, and it was just these Americans who were just sitting there basically... Oh, here we go, Saudi Arabia. Oh, that's going to be blocked away. They put the ball back in the middle of the box, whip it across. Oh my gosh, how was that not a goal? This is actually an exciting game right now. This is an exciting game. Saudi Arabia have had another opportunity. Probably should have been doing better with it too, but it will stay 0-0. It'll be a goal kick coming up for Senegal. 30 minutes gone here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. We've got Argentina, Iceland right after this. But yeah, we saw these American dudes and they were just shitting on Australia and saying like, oh, they're the easy beats of this World Cup. They're the easy beats of this tournament. I don't know what it is with the Americans. They've got like some little angst about Australia right now. I just don't understand it. But you've not really done anything yourselves in any World Cup. Neither have we, but at the very least, the only two teams we lost in the last World Cup were the winners and the second place runners-up. Taylor says Saudi Arabia needs a win if they want to make a statement. I agree with you 100%. They've been coming off a few defeats. While Senegal has been in good form, I believe Senegal may try to avoid injuries and preserve more. Saudi Arabia inside the box. That's going to be a corner. I don't think Senegal's form has been actually that spectacular. We went through it before. Again, yeah, that loss 3-2 to USA was weird, but they did lose 3-0 to Morocco. They did beat Gambia 3-1, but just like it's Gambia, with all due respect. They did beat Peru. Yeah, look, I wouldn't necessarily say that form is through the roof. They've still got a couple of losses in the last few games. Well, Saudi Arabia do need to make a statement for sure. You're right. Oh my gosh, I thought that was going to be a goal. Oh my goodness me, I thought that was a goal for Saudi Arabia, but it will be cleared away. Now the counter is coming up here from Senegal. Here they go. Look at the speed. Look at the speed, but good defense. And that's something that I've been impressed with Saudi Arabia today. They have had the speed to match. Taylor says, energy for the World Cup. Just an idea, though. I placed a small bet in Saudi Arabia and also hedged it with an Asian handicap. Yeah. 31 minutes gone. With that thought, put your money on Haiti since they beat New Zealand 4-0 and we're a powerhouse. Oh, exactly right. Oh, yeah, exactly right. That is 100%. Portugal to win the whole thing. You're a Ronaldo fan. You're a Ronaldo fan. If you're thinking Portugal to win the whole thing, you're a Ronaldo fan. And look, respect it, man. I respect it that you ride to death for your man, but you're a Ronaldo man for sure. So this will be Senegal playing this ball around the back, 32 minutes in. I think Australia win the World Cup. Can't even say it with a straight face. Imagine the day, like people don't understand this around the world. I'm telling you, Australia would go. They don't care about football on a regular basis, but the scenes in Fed Square, if we ever won a World Cup, would maybe burn that city down. I think Melbourne might burn. I do genuinely believe that Melbourne as a city would be nuts if we ended up ever doing anything. And again, people only care about football when it's the FIFA World Cup in Australia. They only care about it then. Hold on. 33 minutes gone here. I just get a real significant feeling. It's like, for example, if the Titans win the comp, the Gold Coast would go nuts, but I just know how nuts it goes just for group stage games. Like all Australians are very fully aware that we're probably not going to be winning any World Cup. But yet people still turn up and still get crazy at Federation Square and in Sydney and in Brisbane at South Bank and all the likes. So you see this kind of passion for a expectation of losing, that we do expect to lose our games, but then when we win, it's massive. I could just imagine if we actually ended up doing anything ever. And that's going to be a free kick here for sure. He's clearly taken him out there, ref. That's going to actually come away for a... It's going to go to the keeper. I was in the middle of all of the action at Tumbalong Park in Sydney for the Argentina game. It was like a war zone when we scored. Flares lit up everything. It's our first ever live site in Sydney, yeah. Well, again, in Melbourne, they banned it originally. I think they've allowed it back now, but they banned it because it got too crazy. BCF sold out flares everywhere in Sydney apparently days before. Oh, man, crack up. All right, Senegal. They're going to push this ball forward. And they'll put that ball out to the right wing. That's because people have no idea how to use flares, Sundo. Oh, cleared away from the Saudi Arabian defense. This should be a corner. Should be a corner. No, he's going to play at this one and keep it in. We'll keep it in. Yeah, but people being stupid and throwing flares in the air. People don't understand. They just think it's super funny. You know, they don't comprehend it, and they have like their little giggle thinking like there's some big Donnie who's really, they just want to be involved, but they don't realize how dangerous that is. You either hold it or drop it in front of you. Yeah, but this is the thing. You understand that. I understand that. People with any form of intelligence understand that. But you get these 15-year-old lads and you get these really young kids who just don't comprehend, and they just want to feel like they were a part of the moment. They just want to feel like they're really tough and really wild. And that's why they'll throw it up there and then they'll laugh with all their mates, but they don't realize they can burn the living shit out of somebody. And that's why they do cancel events like this. Senegal inside the box, whips it across. Chance! Oh, the keeper gets down low to the left. And he will prevent that one. They should have done better with that one, Senegal. They should have done better with that one. I was fully expecting that to be a goal. Oh my goodness me. That really should have been, but they got down low to the left and prevented it. If I'm being serious, I've had a few quid on Morocco as my dark horse. Love it. I don't expect them to win, but I think they could upset a few of the teams expected to beat them. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Morocco, a great shout. Free kick to Saudi Arabia on the edge of the box here. Fantastic shout, really. One literally landed on my back and burned a little bit of my jersey. Yep. Not surprising. Damn, that was so close for the Senegalese to break the deadlock right now, but it just wasn't powerful enough. The ball comes to the middle of the box on a rampaging through player, and he just kicks it straight into the goalkeeper's hands. But all right, free kick opportunity now. Free kick right on the edge. 9 minutes to go here of the first half. All right. Are they going for a straight up goal? Yes, they are. That goes to the keeper, and the keeper gets down and saves it. At least we've had plenty of shots here in this first half. We have seen quite a few shots. Obviously, none of them have gone into the back of the net, but we have seen quite a few shots here today. 8 minutes left. You seem about a minute behind. I might be, mate, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I need to be. I really wish I was on. I need to wait for the actual World Cup to start so that I can use a legitimate service, like an SPS in Australia and whatnot. I'm currently in Vietnam, so I'm currently having to watch. Actually, there might be a way that I can watch a better quality stream. Senegal. It's going to be Vietnamese commentary, which I don't understand. But hold on, Senegal in the box. They're going to put this ball around, put it out to the wing. Someone going to whip it in. They're going to whip it in. It's still inside. That's going to be cut by the Saudi Arabian defense, and there's going to be a free kick. Actually, there may be a chance here. TV, watch international friendly. How to watch 26? Yeah, VTV, I think it is. I think it's VTV, which is like free, maybe free to watch. But I just don't know if it's for. I don't know if it's actually for the friendlies though. I think it's mainly for the actual. I think it's mainly for. The actual World Cup, not the friendlies. Tasman says, "Where's Ronaldo? He's crying in his car." And there'll be a free kick coming up here. Free kick coming up. So yeah, I'm currently watching this on VIP box, and unfortunately, it probably is a little bit behind. What happens here? Yeah, definitely a free kick there against Saudi Arabia. Gee whiz. Watch international friendlies. Vietnam. Maybe I'll try Saudi Arabia. Senegal. There we go. So Saudi Arabia, they're going to get this ball and they're going to put this ball into an attacking area. Have a shot. It's a little bit too far away. And they'll be able to clear this here. Senegal. Let me have a look. Where is it? Live streaming how to watch. Yeah, just got flash score and stuff like that. I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to figure out another time. At the moment, I'm probably going to be, just about a minute behind or so. Show like. You can stream on the Saudi Arabia versus Senegal international friendly on platforms like ESPN or BBC Sport. Yeah, but you want to be able to watch the game. You don't want to just stream the damn well live score. So it says, damn, talk about all those flares and stuff got me excited for this World Cup. Just went back and watched some of the videos I took. I sent you a couple trimmed down Insta. Yeah, good stuff. I'm pretty certain you're not going to see any flares in America. There's no way for mine. I don't even know, actually. Do they allow flares inside? Do they allow flares? I haven't seen them allow flares in like the MLS and whatnot. I haven't seen it at all. So 40, just up past 40 minutes gone now, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Just past 40 minutes gone. Still 0-0 here. A lot of people would have gotten over 2.5. That's not looking like it's happening right this very second. Not look like it's coming on. I wouldn't want to risk it. Yeah, well, I've never seen it before in the MLS, but then again, I don't watch an incredible amount of the MLS, but I have never seen it before. Damn, okay, and then this streamer is going to cut out, is it? Lovely, that's exactly what you like to see. This is why I hate going through unofficial websites, because it is super choppy. And just as soon as all that happens, now the game has just completely stopped here. Game is completely stopped. Would like to watch the game. I know it's a hard ask, a tough ask. Would like to watch the game. There we go. Yeah, no, surely not. Surely, there's no way they would allow it. There'd be too much of a risk. It'd be too much of a risk there. Dasma says the Yanks wouldn't even know how to use them. They probably think Messi is playing for them. Well, Messi does play in the MLS, to be fair. America, guns, yes. Flares, no. We're not going to go down this conversation, brother. We're not going to go down that conversation. Can you imagine how I felt in China on dodgy websites with shit Chinese internet needing a VPN? Yeah, but so the difference is that you're watching it on a personal basis. I'm trying to stream, react live to the game, and currently the footage is down. Currently the footage is down. Just a joke. But the issue is that, like, I have to read it out, and we're on a public forum here, man. So whilst it is just a joke, when I see the chat, I'm kind of expected. I read it out, and I do want everyone here to have a good time and have a bit of a laugh and whatnot. But also, I don't want because like Americans are very, very well aware they've got gun issues, mate. They're very, very well aware. So that's why. I pull that up and I say, "Hey, listen, let's not go down that path, because obviously it's a very common trajectory that we do see there." And I'm obviously the one who has to read it out. You're behind an account there that doesn't actually have your name on it. You know, that's why there's the difference there. And I am fully responsible for this chat too, as a streamer. I'm still trying to find this. So we are still in the 44th minute, and there has been an attempted goal. Musab Al-Shawar. Musab Al-Shawar will have a crack, but it will not eventuate to anything here. I'm not even watching the game, just came for a chat, having a rest day. Yeah, well, it is an international friendly, man. It's not, extremely important. It's not extremely important to keep up in regards to, watching the ins and outs of this game at the moment. But we do our best in regards to still... just having an idea of how teams play. And I have been pretty impressed by how Saudi Arabia played for the most part today. Okay, my stream's back up and working now. Yeah, the World Cup game is going to be awesome. We'll definitely be smashing through that. 45 minutes gone here. I want to know how many added minutes there are. Damn, these streams today are dodgy. They're dodgy. 44, 47 gone. Daz, why have you not got a profile picture anymore, by the way? You used to have a picture. I can see you've changed your name back to Daz, mate, but you got rid of your picture too. What was your picture? I can't even remember what it was. 3 added minutes here. At halftime, I'm going to run to the bathroom. But 3 added minutes at halftime. How many local MILFs were in the area? There are girls from Instagram looking for a date is currently on my screen right now on VIPbox.tv. Girls from Instagram looking for a date. It's always the Russians, isn't it? It's always the old Russians. Cheeky. 2.5 minutes left here of this first half. I am surprised, though. I am surprised that we haven't seen a goal just yet. I would have expected a goal in this game, but they are equaling each other out pretty evenly as we speak. They are equaling each other out. Jared says, yeah, and it's always very legitimate, those dating apps. Hey, listen, I got an email the other day. This is a true story, by the way. I got an email saying that I won $5 million US. Yeah. Where is it? I wonder if I still have it, or did I delete it? I can't remember the country, but it was like, stop it. The country was wild to hear. It was wild to see the name of the country. Where is it? Deleted items. Nothing deleted. Okay, so that's already been deleted out of my out of the box. I can't remember, but it was like from a Benin, or it was from somewhere in Africa, and I'd won $5 million US, and it said to click all these links to go and receive my pay. Good to see. I have to say, Saudi looked dangerous on counters. They could upset someone in the group stage. I've been impressed by Saudi today, mate. I think they've been able to handle the Senegalese in regards to their pace. The Senegalese have been, really probably putting on the most pressure in this game. They've been the ones that have definitely probably had the... No, well, I wouldn't even say that. Like, I'd say Saudi probably have had more shots. It's just that the Senegalese maybe have had a little bit better shots. But I would say that Saudi have been pretty good here today. They're matching it with the Senegalese in pretty much every area. You donate your 10% then. Mate, I'll donate 100% to myself. I donate 100%. But Senegal are going to get a free kick. I will say Senegal have got a lot of free kicks here in this area just outside the box. A lot of free kicks. And this will probably be the last real solid attempt here of the first half. The last attempt here to finish the first half. They nearly had a free kick goal going just before. And they whip it in. That's going to be headed away for a corner, but it might be just the end of the first half. No, they're going to say that we had to play the corner. Unlike in the Champions League final game when a certain team was taking too long, we are going to be taking a corner here. Corner. I do really, really need a coffee, to be fair. Do need a coffee. Actually, I might make one at halftime, guys, to be honest with you. And they whip that bad boy in. You're going to have to just take a crack here nearly first time. They whip a ball across, put on the boot, but it will go to the keeper. And that should be halftime now. Yeah, it will be halftime at 0-0. Look, overall, again, I think that you could make arguments for both teams here, but they've been pretty evenly matched. And I would just say that the Saudis have been... The possession has definitely been in favour of Senegal, but the Saudis, they've got 7 shots to 4 and 3 shots on goal to 2. So they are getting the better opportunities with it. It's just that Senegal have got more of the possession. The fouls committed are very similar. Both teams have 1 yellow card apiece. It is, I believe, 3-1 in regards to corners in favour of Senegal, and saves is 4-2 for Senegal. So, yeah, I think that you'd be pretty happy. You would be pretty happy if you are the Saudis right now for mine. Because you are taking, again, Saudi Arabia is situated all the way down in 61st, whilst the Senegalese are in 15th. 61st versus 15th. You are you're super chuffed coming into a World Cup, and you're pretty happy with that, to be completely honest with you. So, yes, they would love to hit in that counter. They would love to get a goal here. They'd love to sneak something and put themselves into the lead, which would just be massive, and I just don't think they lose from there. But regardless, I think a 1-0 here at halftime... a 0-0 here at halftime is definitely a success for Saudi Arabia, and I think they could definitely push on into the second half with this one. But, guys, I'm going to quickly make a coffee. I've had 4 hours sleep. Obviously, I was live for the Congo versus Chile last night, and then I had 4 hours sleep, and then I'm live for this game, and now it's halftime, and I'm straight into the Argentina versus Iceland game. So my advice, no matter what time it is in the world, whether go grab a beer, go grab a drink, go grab a coffee, I'm not too sure, but hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll be back in just a few moments. All right, we are coming back underway here. Just made myself a nice little coffee to kick me on here. 7 a.m. in the morning, but on a small amount of sleep. But we are just waiting for the second half to get underway. NC says, "Is it in our fantasy league? Is it head-to-head matchups or just total points?" I think it's just total points. To be honest with you, mate, I'll quickly go have a look. So, leagues. I'm not really... This is the first time I've actually ever done a FIFA World Cup fantasy league. So, I'll go have a look here in regards to what the settings are. So, right now, we've got quite a few people involved. I'm pretty happy with that. We've got quite a few people involved. Let's go to the settings. 2.0 Gorb. I think it is just total points, mate. Yeah, I got a feeling it's total points. I think you're right, NCU. I think you're right. It's probably just total points. Because head-to-head wouldn't really... No, head-to-head wouldn't make sense because it's not enough games. There's only match week 1... Well, the first game week 1, which is... Yes, you're going to have to really keep up to date with it too. That's the thing with this. You're going to have to really keep up to date with it because it'll go through all the games and then you have to substitute out players and all this type of stuff. I think you can actually sub in and out players throughout. So even the players on the bench may be able to come on. I'm not too sure. It's really... I need to actually look more deeply into it because it does look really fun. Again, I brought in Kukurea. He's playing... Cabo Verde in their first game, and I really liked the way he was pushing up the other day yesterday against Peru. I have brought in Musiala, so I've actually changed my team again since I spoke to you guys yesterday. I changed my team again, where I've brought in Musiala, who I think is going to have a big tournament for the Germans. I've got Raum and Neuer. You can only have 3 players in one country. My front 3 are Harry Kane, Oyarzabal against Cabo Verde, and Eden Gunda. I did bring in Eden Gunda. I think he's going to have a great tournament. I really wanted to keep Jimenez, and I would have loved to have had 4 strikers. I would have loved to have had 4 strikers, but unfortunately you cannot do that. Unfortunately, you've had 4... Unfortunately, yeah, you can't have 4 strikers in a game. So yeah, I've got a front 3 of Oyarzabal, Eden Gunda, and Kane. 1 second here. We'll just look into this. There we go. We do that. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. Peter says hello from Canada. You're over there in Canada. Have you gone over to the World Cup, have you, Peter? You've gone over there for the World Cup, have you? Oh, Laurie says, much love, Breakout team. Hope everyone's good. Going well. We're just waiting for this World Cup to start at this point on Friday. Yeah, no, we're just doing some international friendlies and looking forward to it. But yeah, no, we're just waiting for it all to get underway at the moment. Bauman may start. No, Bauman. We're talking about who are you suggest? Are you saying instead of? Are you suggesting instead of Realm? Otherwise, what are you saying for Blachos? Laurie says, joke of the day, got some free tampons for the World Cup games. What? I can hook you up, just going to pull some strings. What's happening here? What are you talking about? Oh, instead of Neuer. Oh, of course. Well, I've got David Raya here anyway, man, so I can just switch out. The thing is that, it's a great point you make, but the thing is with the Fantasy World Cup is that the goalkeepers are so cheap, and it's like I just don't feel the necessity to spend the full amount of money in the strikers and the forwards in the midfield and the defenders, because the defenders are so cheap and the goalkeepers are so cheap. So you've got Neuer there, but you've also got Raya, and it's like it's only taking up 10 mil of your cap, and I just don't really see the purpose of not again. I probably should just have Raya because they have a really easy group. So Germany. So I'm not really too sure. So do you think that they're going to be putting in Bauman, or do you think it's going to be Neuer? Because I feel like they might still go with Neuer, but maybe it could be Bauman. My bad was when you went for a break. Okay, fair enough. Still don't understand what you're talking about, though. When will it start? It's half-time, the Erector. It is currently half-time, and it is 0-0. It is currently 0-0 at half-time. Saudi Arabia have been pretty fun to watch. Haven't been able to get the goal yet, and the Saudi Arabia have been pretty fun. Haven't got the goal yet, and the Senegalese, they've been putting on... they've been attempting to put on a show, but it's just that the Saudis have had it all over them. They've been impressive. I'll go Courtois over Raya. Would you really? You go Courtois over Raya. Okay. But who Belgium play? Who's Belgium's group? Egypt, Iran, New Zealand. So you've got Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand, and then for Spain, you've got... who's that group again? Where's Spain? Espanol. Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. I think the group... Like, Egypt should be... Belgium, I can never trust, man. And I know you know what I'm saying here. Belgium, it's just so to trust them. So I have Kevin De Bruyne on the team. I know he's older. He may not even... I might even take him out, to be fair. But Kevin De Bruyne is still probably going to be highly utilised as their central point of attack, and he'll be on all the set pieces except for the penalties. But Belgium, I just find it so hard to trust. I've had so much faith in them in the past, and everyone usually does have faith in them, and then they just completely fall away when it comes to a major tournament. Spain will probably start Unai Simon. Will they really? Okay. Well, this is why it's great that we're having this conversation right now. You see the rain out of Alabama for the Argentina-Iceland game? Haven't seen that yet. I'll be live for it. I'll be live for Argentina versus Iceland. So really, okay. So they're not going to be utilising David Raya as their starting option. Okay, I find that quite interesting. I probably would have been putting him as the starting option, but fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe I put Matt Ryan in because Australia's not conceding a goal this entire World Cup. How about that? How about that for a little bit of a conversation, a little bit of a real serious conversation we had? How about that, Matt Ryan? People are sleeping on Belgium. But I think the reason why people are sleeping on Belgium football archives is because of their historical record of being in first position on the FIFA World Rankings going into World Cups, and then being extremely disappointing. You know, I would say that the reason being is because they've had such a fantastic team over the years and they just never seem to put it together. So maybe now that people aren't believing in them, they've got less pressure and they do go and do something. Maybe. All jokes aside, Matt Ryan was actually one of the best keepers in the league last year. Matt Ryan's a fantastic keeper. Again, we would have had a fantastic chance to progress past Argentina in that game in the round of 16 in 2022 had we not had that mistake at the back with Matty Ryan. But I do really rate Matty Ryan as a keeper. For some reason, luckily for Australia, we've always had really quality keepers. Like Mark Schwarzer was our stalwart for many years. And then now it's been Matty Ryan. And even Andrew Redmayne was quality for us in that qualification period. Beach done a great job versus Swiss. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, you are right. But Matty Ryan is the guy. Overall, I was pretty happy with that Australia game versus Switzerland. I'm not really rating Switzerland too much. I didn't really find it too impressive. They scored that goal in the first 20. They were dominant in the first 20. And they really went to sleep for mine. They really just didn't put anything into... There was nothing really impressive from Switzerland after that 20th minute when we had that first hydration break. It's like the hydration break absolutely just whacked them and really slowed them down. Swiss had no chances after the goal. Yeah, exactly right. They really slowed down. And this is why I genuinely think that we will be... And this is why I've gone with Eden Gunda. I think that Mexico is going to do really well in this tournament. I do feel like with the home field advantage, and I know home field doesn't mean jack shit. Brazil lost 7-1 to Germany at home at the fantastic Maracanã. You know, they lost 7-1 there, which shows that home field advantage isn't really as important as you think, because it's still at the end of the day just a field of a football field where they're all playing on the same field. But I do feel like Mexico have a good chance here, and Jimenez is a great shout. But I need to go with an Australian, and if I'm going to go with an Aussie, I am going to go with Eden Gunda. The story Eden Gunda. He's got the speed, the pace injection into the game. I wonder if he's going to play 90, though. I'm also looking at him probably playing 75 to 80. But with that being second half has started here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The second half has started. I'm worried about him playing the full 90, but either way, like he can inject himself in that first 75 anyway. Japan might be a dark horse in that pool with the Swiss. I believe that Japan win the group. I've got Japan to win that group. Saudi Arabia here with the ball. They've got an early opportunity. Early opportunity to take the lead. Oh, that's going to be blocked away from Senegal, and it will be a throw-in. Belgium look very good in the latest friendly. Let me go and look. I didn't get to watch any of the Belgium friendlies. So Belgium against Mexico. Are you talking about, or are you talking about against Croatia? Because they did beat Croatia 2-0. They did smash Tunisia 5-0, but that's kind of expected. They did beat... oh, no, so their last World Cup... the Mexico was 3 games ago. Their last friendly was against Tunisia, where they won 5-0. But also Tunisia is expected. Again, Australia beat Tunisia at the last World Cup. They might love their football, but geez, 23 shots, 11 on target. That was crazy. And then with 5 of those being goals, they were very clinical in this game. Leandro Trossard, Charles de Ketelaere, Kevin De Bruyne, Dori Lugabacchio, and Nicolas Raskin. What was their lineup looking like? Thibaut Courtois, Nathan Goy, Thomas Meunier, Brandon McKelly, Timothy Castagne, Kevin De Bruyne, Yuri Tielemans, Amadou Onana, Charles de Ketelaere, Leandro Trossard, and Jeremy Doku. Love my boy Docs. I love my boy Docs. Love my boy Docs. Japan are growing as a football nation. Well, they're a very good football nation. I don't know if I use the word growing. I think that, sure, you could use the word growing to becoming a much better... Yeah, no, I would agree with you. So that's going to be a free kick here to Senegal, just inside the attacking half. Japan have been a pretty well-established football nation. It's just that they're never able to take that next step, is what I would say. Even when they had Kazuki Honda and... Oh, who was the other very good player back in the day? You guys better remember the name. I know that it was Honda and Shinji. What was Shinji? What was his name? What was his last name? I can't think of his last name. Is just not coming to me right now. They had a very good team. Kagawa, that's the one. Yeah, Kagawa. He was so good to watch back in the day, man. I loved watching Shinji Kagawa. He was unreal to watch, even as an Australian, and he would be the one that, here we go, Senegal, put the ball in the box, here's a great chance, and it's going to be pushed outside the box. Unfortunately, they just couldn't control it. Yeah, Kaga was actually, if you go back through time, he would be my favourite Japanese player ever. Senegal, offside. They would have had a fantastic chance at score, but they will be offside. So, Football Archives, are you in our fantasy league? Are you in the fantasy league? Who are you looking at? Oh, he's onside, by the way. That was a bad call. He was definitely onside. He was definitely onside. Poor call there. I would look forward to see how everyone else's teams... I hope people don't go the obvious. Senegal cleared away from Saudi Arabia. Cleared away. Yeah, I've always regarded Japan as a very quality nation. It's here. They're just not Europe or South America to get the respect that the others will inevitably receive, because nobody ultimately watches the Asian... So we have the Asian Cup next year, which I'm looking forward to, but no one ultimately watches Asian football. For the most part, I shouldn't say nobody, if you're from Europe or South America, and they're always just watching your Argentinas and your Brazils and your... now Ecuador's, even though they've been quite poor in the past, but they're definitely rocketing now defensively. By the way, is it true that Ivory Coast in their World Cup qualifiers didn't give up a single goal? Can someone please confirm that for me? I heard this on one of those Instagram reels yesterday doing a preview for the group. I'm pretty certain I heard them say that Ivory Coast did not give up a single goal in their World Cup qualifiers. Japan has only 3 players in the squad that plays in the J League, rest in Europe. I'm telling you, Junta Ito is a guy that I'm really looking for. I'm really excited for him. I've got him on my bench in in the Fantasy World Cup. Let's go look at their team heading into the Netherlands game, or who they played against England when they beat England 1-0. It's a good result for them. They're having a lot of... Look at Japan recently. Look at this form. 1-0 against Iceland, 1-0 against England, 1-0 against Scotland, 3-0 against Bolivia, 2-0 against Ghana, 3-2 against Brazil, 2-2 with Paraguay. They did randomly lose to USA of all teams. 0-0 with Mexico, 1-0 over South Korea, 6-1 over Hong Kong, random one goal there for Hong Kong, 6-0 over Indonesia, 2-0 over China. They did lose 1-0 to Australia and had a draw 0-0 with Saudi Arabia. But geez, that form is pretty hard to ignore. RHT says, I predicted Senegal 2, Saudi Arabia 2. Pre-game, I wouldn't have minded it, but in this game so far, you are seeing two very equally matched teams, but yet Saudi shouldn't be as good as they are, but they simply are right now. Infinite Kiwi says, I heard a lot of teams had a hard time getting in the country, rubber gloves and all. Senegal was one. Well, for example, yesterday's or last night's game between the Congo and Chile, it had to be played behind closed doors, unfortunately, due to the Ebola outbreak that's currently happening in the DR Congo. So there was nobody in attendance, and there was delays, and it was meant to start at this time, and then it didn't start for another hour, and there was no audio from what I was able to watch. It was an absolute shit show. It ended up being a pretty interesting game. It definitely was. There was two very, very late goals there in that game where we saw an absolute screamer from Dario Osorio, who is meant to be the next big thing for Chile. Like that's who Chile are really expecting, Dario Osorio, to be the guy. He scored a screamer of a goal, take 1-0, and then it wasn't until about the 86th minute when they scored a free kick, Chile to take 2-0 lead. And it was a beautiful free kick from just outside the box. And then we saw a really, really nice goal from the Congo. And again, they have the defense and they have the midfield. They just don't have the delivery into the attack, and they definitely don't have the attack itself. There's no clinical finishing there. I'm telling you, the Congo would be a very good team if they had a striker. And we had someone speaking yesterday about that they have that Romelu Lukaku has heritage, and I guess obviously there is definitely still concerns there. But a guy like Lukaku being injected into that team would really rise them from where they are, because I didn't really like Sadiki and I didn't really like what the Congo were doing. But yeah, the Congo do have a good defense, Pato. They have a good team. They just don't have the finishing. And that's exactly what yesterday proved. Because for mine, based off of how the match was really playing out, and based on the fact that Chile in their qualification for the World Cup, where they didn't make the World Cup, came 10th. They came last in their qualification. Peru came in 9th. So they came in 10th. And there's just not got a great deal of excitement around that Chilean team right now. But yet, as we saw, they were able to get that win. And I do also say, though, in regards to the Congo, that when you look at their good defense and you look at the statistics that they've had in recent times, it is in Africa against teams like your Togo and your Benin and whatnot. Yes, good results against teams like Nigeria, and they weren't too far off in games against Morocco, who is a very strong team. But I will say that there is a very big difference between 10th in South America and even some of the more quality teams in Africa. New Zealand beat Chile 4-1 the other month, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy to hear. But their attack sucks. I remember watching them in the qualifier game against Jamaica. Their finishing sucked. Yeah, their finishing does suck. But it does take screamers to beat the Congo. And we saw two really good goals that Chile had to score. But I did like Osorio. I did like him. I did think that it was really nice to watch in that one. He's playing for FC Midtjylland in the Denmark. Laurie says, love Japan fast players, but feel for them in the past. The height, few headers lost them games. Yeah, the Japanese don't have the height in them. If Japan took on Norway, my goodness me. That would be actually a really big mismatch for mine. Norway versus Japan. Like, you could see Japan beat Brazil. Like, you could. And you could see... But then again, they did beat England. Was Harry Kane playing in that game? But could you imagine, like, Haaland could do some pretty filthy things to Japan if he got given good ball? He could. He'll be way too strong for that Japanese defense in the air. So they're lucky they didn't get put into that same group with them. So 55.5 minutes gone here. Still 0-0 in this game. A lot of people would have gotten over the 2.5, and I don't know if that's coming, but we did see yesterday it was 1-0 in the 86th minute of that Congo versus Chile game, and it ended 2-1, so you still found that over 2.5. Here we go. Here's Senegal. Put the ball in the middle. Bit of space here. Are they going to have a shot? Oh, here's a chance. In the box. Good defense, Saudi Arabia. Really mixed up there, but they do get the good defense moving. I hate using the term dark horse, but Norway's my dark horse. Norway have a good team. It's, as we were speaking about yesterday, it's not just about Erling Haaland and Ødegaard. They do actually have some pretty good processes in their team. They are a much better team than people do give them credit for. People just look at them as the Erling Haaland show. But they do have a pretty decent enough team. But then again, you know, when you're looking at the group they're in, they really should be getting through it for mine. I do think that they should absolutely be getting through it. They've got Iraq, Senegal, and France. I think they should be getting past this Senegalese team based off of what we're seeing at the moment. And it's not really that exciting. They should definitely be getting past Iraq, but France are going to be obviously the tough one to really get past. Sorloth is a great number 2 for Haaland as well. Do they have a quality team? I have a quality team. Hold on. I'm just going to get this stream back up. The stream is causing a bit funny buggers today. In regards to VIP box. Let's go have a look at their team. Norway football. The team that they put up against Morocco when they drew 1-1. So they had Nyland, David Moller Wolf, Christopher Eiger, Torbjorn Hegem, Frederick Orsnes, Martin Ødegaard, Sander Berge, Antonio Nusa is a good player, Alexander Sorloth, Julian Ryerson, and Erling Haaland. Antonio Nusa scored quite a few goals in their qualification process. He is very, very solid. I'm just waiting to see if someone can break this game away. Can someone break this game apart right now? Can anybody break this game apart? So are you doing fantasy this year, Pato? Have you got a fantasy team this year? This is going to be... There's an injury here for Saudi Arabia. God bless them. I'm just trying to figure out what the first big... I want to know what I'm just trying to think what the first big upset of this World Cup could be. I guess you are looking at Bosnia-Herzegovina versus Canada. I don't really... I think if South Africa beat Mexico, it'd be a massive upset. I don't think that'll be happening. But they did open the World Cup back in South Africa in 2010, 1-1. Shabalala. Where is one here? Would you consider Morocco a massive upset against Brazil? I don't think so. That should be relatively even odds. I think Brazil will be favourites, but I definitely could see Morocco doing it. First one's clearly Australia taking down Turkey. Italians who you spawn this World Cup. Yeah, Morocco wouldn't be shocked. Italians in this World Cup. Jeez, how much would it suck to just consistently watch World Cups that is your main sport and you're not there when there's as many teams as there are here. The James Webb Experience says maybe Algeria beat Argentina. That'd be a massive result. But see, that's not for a while, isn't it? That doesn't get played until next Wednesday. So in a full week's time from now, 7 days. In between, there's some other games. Like Cabo Verde is not beating Spain. If they do that, I give up. Curaçao is not beating Germany. Japan shouldn't be that much of an upset against Netherlands and really shouldn't be an upset. I think they should be favourites. Maybe it could be like in Australia against Turkey. I wouldn't be completely surprised. Probably is Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Canada. Because apparently Bosnia is 450 to 1 underdogs. So Saudis are going to make a couple of substitutions here. They're going to make about 3 of them. Oh, no, they've made just 2 of them for the time being. Algeria against Argentina. That would be a massive shock. We did see, obviously, this Saudi Arabian team get a big shock against Argentina a few years back. 60 minutes gone here. Still 0-0. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. 60 minutes gone here. Yeah, we'll talk about the Rugby League tomorrow, Jeremy, when we've got that Rugby League stream. The time being, we'll focus on the old football when the football's on, but when the Rugby League's on, we can talk about the old Rugby League. Could be Senegal beat France. I don't know, man. I haven't been a great deal impressed with them here today. I think France should get that win. I think France really should be way too strong for them. There might be a scare in the game, but realistically, France should be getting it done. Yeah, Pato, I agree. Australia-Turkey isn't as big as a gap as people think. The thing is that people think there's a massive gap because they don't really know anything about Australian football, and the main thing that they think about is that Australia. They don't recognise that Australia's punched above their weight quite consistently in World Cups. Considering we're a non-football nation, we really do get up for football World Cups, and we really do get up in the big stage, the big stages for our context. But people don't acknowledge that as much as we know that happens. So we know that we pushed Argentina to the 90th minute and nearly scored a goal to equalise, and the only reason they were up 2-1 was based off of our own mistake at the back with Matty Ryan and our defence giving a free goal to the Argentinians. You know, we know we beat a strong Denmark team that was being regarded as the dark horses for the World Cup. We knocked them out of the World Cup. Tunisia, they're not a spectacular team, but they were definitely predicted above us. We were predicted last by quite literally everybody. There definitely are some World Cups that I look back at and I go, well, that was shit house. But overall, we're a much better team than people give us credit for. And that we do have some exciting players and some exciting options. Japan, Netherlands, hardest to call first round. I'm taking Japan, but yeah, I agree with you. It is a difficult one to call, but I am taking Japan pretty confidently too. I don't think that the Dutch are as good as they have been in the past, and I think that Japan should be too strong for them. That's how great this World Cup is, let alone training, figuring out the opposition. This is a tough World Cup to call. There's no real guarantee in regards to who wins it, but this is going to be a free kick coming up for Saudi Arabia here. Sadio Mane is going to give away this free kick in a very dangerous area. Saudi Arabia looking to whip this one in just outside the box to the right-hand side, on the right wing. He clobbers him from behind. I think Japan should have that one. Don't forget, guys, we'll be live for Argentina versus Iceland right after this. Hopefully that stream, not my stream, that stream will be a lot better. Still 0-0. 0-0, jeez. Still 0-0. It would be such a shock if we saw South Africa get a win against Mexico, though, because I'm really confident in Mexico in this World Cup. I really am. Okay, let's whip this ball and let's see a good whip in here from Saudi Arabia. Straight to the keeper. Straight to the keeper. And they'll play it out pretty quickly here, Senegal. I just think most people just regard Senegal as Sadio Mane and they know how quality he is, but the distribution today has not been unreal. They haven't had amazing opportunities. They haven't. Which African team will go furthest? You may be looking at a Senegal. There's not really too much. Oh, no, it's Morocco. No, Morocco should. Morocco will get past the group of... Morocco should definitely get past the group of Scotland, Haiti, and Brazil. Turkey... No, it's going to be Morocco for mine. But again, apparently Ivory Coast didn't give up a single goal in their World Cup qualifiers. Apparently. Nigeria aren't here, bro. But Nigeria not at the World Cup. What do you mean, Nigeria? Nigeria aren't at this World Cup. Well, unless I'm missing out on a late qualification. Nigeria aren't here because the Congo got in. The Congo beat them. Otherwise, Nigeria would be here. No, it has to be Morocco. It has to be. 65 minutes gone here. It has to be Morocco. Surely not. I just couldn't. Senegal's group. Oh, there's going to be a free kick there. Senegal. Where's Senegal again? France, Iraq, and Norway. I've got France and Norway getting through that group, man. That's the only. Yeah. No, I think it just has to be Morocco. There's nobody else of real significant note that I'm looking at there on an African nation that should be progressing seriously far. There really isn't. I'm going to see if there's another stream here for this game, because this stream over here on VIP Box absolutely sucks. No, it's just got the Argentina versus Iceland game. Algeria. Not for me. Not for me. Algeria in that group, like, they definitely could get through. I would not be surprised if Jordan do turn up in that group, but it probably is just going to be Argentina and Algeria. But no, I've got Morocco being better than Algeria. I don't know who Algeria would play via coming second in that group. I'm not too sure who they would play. Yeah, there's actually limited streams available for this game here. 24 minutes left, still 0-0. Can we find a winner? Someone says, you know, it's weird. England played their first game a week after the World Cup starts. Yeah, well, a lot of teams do. You have to separate the fixtures. You have to separate them so that we have games not overlapping each other. We don't have any games overlapping each other. So you have to separate the fixtures, and it's not really weird at all. It's the best way to get as long a period as we could. Jordan looked dreadful in the last friendly. You are right, to be fair. They didn't look great against Colombia. John Arias scored those couple of goals, which was nice to see. But I really don't mind Jordan overall. I do think they have a bit about them. It's just that they might have a similar problem. Oh, geez, that's going to be close. That's going to be close there for the Saudis. I do think there's like a little bit about them. I don't know. Maybe they just have a... That should have been put away there. That should have been put away by Senegal. That should have been put away by Senegal. They just got a great chance in the middle of the box, and they're going to blast it over the top of the bar. That 100% should have been a goal. I don't think we're going to see a goal here today, folks. I don't think we're going to see a goal. Turkey's definitely a winnable game. Like, we beat a prime Denmark last World Cup, yeah? So there's a hydration break right now. It's very hard and difficult for me to commentate this game, guys, because this stream, not mine, theirs, keeps freezing up a lot. I don't think they looked awful, Football Archives, but I don't think they looked great for sure. I don't know if they looked awful the other day. Who was it against? It was against Colombia. Maybe I might have just been convinced because of all the Jordanians here, and we had a lot of people from Jordan tune into the stream. Maybe they might have just convinced me, but I didn't think they looked awful. They just didn't look great by any means. But that group's there's no real guarantee in that group besides Argentina. Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. It's not exactly easy. Watch them against Switzerland. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, they lost 4-1. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's a poor one. 4-1. They didn't look too bad against Morocco in that FIFA Arab Cup final. They did beat Saudi Arabia 1-0 in the semi-final of that Arab Cup too. Beat Iraq 1-0. Egypt 3-0. Kuwait 3-1. Oh, but they lost 4-2 to Albania. 1-0 to Bolivia is pretty rough to see, to be fair. That is pretty rough. Swiss had a training run against them. It was men against boys. Well, that gives me confidence as an Aussie, doesn't it? That gives me confidence as an Aussie. Yes, sir. Because we played the Swiss pretty well, I would say. 20 minutes gone here. 20 minutes to go, sorry, folks. 70 minutes gone. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. 20 minutes to go. Hopefully we can see something happen. But yeah, Switzerland, obviously 4-1. That's impressive. I don't really rate Switzerland a great deal. I know they've got Konataka. And I know they've got an okay team, but I don't really rate Switzerland too much. Yes, I think Mexico will do really well this World Cup, so I think they've got a fantastic group to prove it to in the early stages. And they're ranked quite high. I think they're, 14th? Where are they? They are ranked 14th, exactly, yeah. Certainly does. Popper's rotation against Swiss was very good. I'm very optimistic about the Socceroos, only because of the management Popper will do, yeah. James Webb experiences. I put tenner on Olise for Golden Boot, 25-1. I've got Olise in my fantasy team. I think he's going to have a massive tournament. Olise should be the goods. But no, I am always optimistic about Australia. I think that this team now is actually better than the team we saw 4 years ago in Qatar. Would you disagree, Pato, as an Aussie? And for anybody here who watches enough Australian football to have the opinion on Australian football, would you agree or disagree on my thoughts that this Australian team is better than the Australian team from 4 years ago where we beat Denmark 1-0, Tunisia 1-0, and competed heavily with Argentina right to the very last whistle and only lost 2-1 to the eventual champions and to Lionel Messi and a fantastic Argentinian team, and then also scored the first goal against France but then got beat 4-1. Colombia versus Panama will be a good game. Colombia should slap them. Colombia should win that game. They really should. Colombia should win that game. Camp Farted says, I have $100 in Senegal. Am I cooked? I don't know about if you're cooked, man, but it's looking very unlikely because Saudi have had their number for the majority part of this game. Like, Saudi have just had their number. I do feel like whoever scores here, whether it's Senegal or it's Saudi Arabia, that might just simply be it. I think that'll be where it ends. Yeah, betting on friendlies is risky, Sunday. You're right. That probably just will end like that. Anything can happen still, too. Like, we could still have over 2.5 goals here. Friendlies can get crazy very, very quickly. Oh, there's a chance there for Senegal. They're just outside the box, and they're the ones putting the pressure on right now. They push this ball back to the goalkeeper, though, to get some space. You've just got to hope for a little bit of a scammy goal right now from Senegal, really, because Saudi have had their number pretty consistently throughout. But I will say they've been a little bit wasteful in front of goal. They had a chance in the middle of the box, Senegal, just about 5 minutes ago, and blasted it straight over the top of the goalpost, and it just, it was really, really poor. So I'm actually probably saying that right now it probably finishes 0-0, but anything can happen in friendlies. We saw last night it get crazy in the last few minutes of that Congo versus Chile game. Is Sadio or Drissa playing? Yes. Here's a go. Off the post from... Oh my gosh, that's off the post from Senegal. Okay, well, they're putting in some good chances now. Off the post, back inside, headed away. Okay, Saudi Arabia are on the back foot, and it is all Senegal as we currently speak. They're just outside the box. Oh, just off the post just then. I think that was originally a whip-in. I thought that was a cross that nearly ended up going into the side netting. Don't forget, guys, we've got Argentina versus Iceland right after this that we'll be live for. So if you're new here, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Netherlands 98th minute penalty winner versus Uzbekistan yesterday. Yeah, did see that because Uzbekistan actually tied that game up in the 92nd minute as well. And then you did see a 98th minute equaliser. If you need a last minute penalty to win against Uzbekistan, you're not looking too good. I actually rate Uzbekistan as a cheeky little team. I don't think they're too bad. I think they're going to be a real grindy team, and I think they're really going to put in a pretty strong foot. I probably don't have them getting out of the group stage, but I do think they're going to put a pretty strong foot into this World Cup, and people are going to underrate them. I do love Kushinov in the defense. Maybe that's just my bias speaking. No. Maybe that's just my bias speaking in regards to Kushinov. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you guys, how confident are you? And this one goes to you football archives. You obviously know your football. So in the FIFA World Cup sweepstakes that I've got with some mates, I drew a fantastic team, and I want you to give me a good ranking and how much you believe I'm going to win. It was $10 to enter, and just a cheapie, but obviously there's enough teams to party with a win. I got Qatar. I think Qatar win the World Cup. I think Qatar might win the World Cup. No, I got really lucky with that selection. I got really, really lucky with Qatar in that pick. They're just going to be world beaters, mate. Don't you love that when you're watching a sweepstakes and you're waiting for yourself to get like a Brazil or a Spain or a France, and then you see them come out, you go, okay, well, I don't get Spain, so maybe I'll get a Germany, or maybe I'll get a Morocco, maybe an England. And then those come out, and then the next thing you see Qatar. You're just like, what the hell are we doing here? You know what I mean? What was the point of me wasting the last 20 minutes watching all these other blokes getting some of these big dog teams, and then I get bloody Qatar? Let's hope they score a goal for you. Amazing stuff if they do. Amazing stuff. This might be a Greece of 2002. This might be a Greece Euros kind of tournament from Qatar for mine. Yeah. Laurie, so I got Uruguay for the World Cup win against France. I don't have Uruguay beating France. Unless you're saying you've got Uruguay in a sweepstakes. If so, you're luckier than me. But you're not lucky overall, but you're luckier than me. Sando, I don't know why you're laughing. When I think of world football, when I think of FIFA World Cup winners, I'm thinking Qatar. Come on. Let's be serious now. Let's get really, really serious about football discussion here on BK Sport. Forget about Spain and Oyarzabal. Forget about Portugal, Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely forget about Harry Kane and England. We're talking about Qatar here. Yeah, Qatar versus Uzbekistan final. Now, that's a World Cup final that everyone would watch James Webb experience. Now, that is the World Cup. When I think of a World Cup final, that's exactly what I want to see. And I think I can speak on behalf of the whole world here. I think I speak on behalf of the whole world. As long as it's not Qatar versus Australia. Because then I'm saying screw you to winning the money. Don't care about that then. Senegal with the ball. Hey, for your sake, Cam Farded, for your sake right now, Senegal are the ones that are putting the pressure on. The Saudis aren't really doing too much with the ball at the moment. Argentina versus Uruguay, Spain of 32 looks likely. Is it round of 16 that if it all goes to plan, Argentina could play Portugal? This is a free kick if they've won it. No, Senegal are going to play it out. Here we go. Here's a chance of Senegal. They put the ball back into the middle. Do something with it. Sadio Mane is going to whip that ball across. Yeah, quarterfinal. Oh, quarterfinal. Okay. Chance. Senegal couldn't touch it down, and they'll go over for a throw-in. Oh, Serpent. Australia, USA is going to be a massive stream, mate. It's the worst timed game of the lot for Australia, for the East Coast of Australia. I think it's like at 5 a.m. or something for you guys. But that's going to be a big stream. We're going to have quite a few Americans here. We'll have a lot of Australians here, and it's going to be just banter central. I need to see the Aussies get up. I do. I need to see the Aussies punch through. It's going to be mental. I couldn't deal with it. I believe that we can win. I believe that we can win. Shut up. 12 minutes to go through this game. Senegal, they're going to punch this ball forward again, though. Us Kiwis will be happy just to make the next round. No, Laurie. The Kiwis will be happy to get a goal in this tournament. Let's stop talking about next round. Let's stop talking about next round, Laurie. Let's stop talking about it. So, whilst the Kiwis have never lost a game at the World Cup, they've also never won a game at the World Cup. 2010 did happen, but also they drew every single game. US chance is so bad, you can only really laugh at them. I will say with the US chance, I believe they've gotten to a point, free kick Saudi Arabia here in their own defensive area. I believe that the Americans are now taking the piss out of everybody deliberately. I think they're learning. I think they're learning that their previous chants that were legitimate was shithouse, and then all the English were like, well, our chants we talk about, with English chants, they will quite literally call you a pedophile, like with that chants. They'll quite literally insult your mother, and they'll go ham in regards to your sister, and your father is your brother and your uncle is your lover kind of deal. That's how English chants are. And then they would make fun of the Americans saying, this is cringe, this is shit house, get some good chants going. And then the Americans were like, okay, well, we're going to buy into this. And now I think they deliberately make chants that are really, really average, and they do really go in hard on this. I believe that we can win, because everyone knows that that's the one that everyone's taking the piss out of the most. 80 minutes gone here, still 0-0 in this game. Saudi Arabia and Senegal have not been able to find a way through just yet. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be going straight into Argentina versus Iceland right after this. We'll be going straight over into that game. 80 minutes gone here. Are you going to any other World Cup games Sunday, or are you just going to the 3 Australian games? And Pedro, are you going to the Australia games, or are you going to the Canadian games? To be honest, it's not as hard as a group as France, Tunisia, and Denmark. It's still hard games. I would say that our group is the second most intriguing because it's probably the trickiest group. I wouldn't say it's the most difficult group, but I would say it's probably the tricky. That's a free kick to Saudi Arabia, yeah. High boot. I would say it's the trickiest group to understand. Australian chance by far the worst. Australia don't have chance. Australia don't have chance. In football, I don't even know what chance. I don't think there are really any chance. Peter, you probably know more about this than I would. Or Sundo, what chance do Australians really use? Yeah, we don't really have any chance, really. So what are you talking about, NCU? Australia's not really a chanting nation. 81 minutes gone here. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. That's a cultural thing that's gone back through cricketing history that's translated across the entire country. Aussie, Aussie for everything. But that's a traditional and a cultural thing. That's something that's gone back, 100 years kind of deal. Like, that's just there because that is just a way to call out the Aussies. But that's across every sport. That's not just for football. That's for every sport. We are one, but we are many. I love that. That's singing a song, though. Again, Australia don't have chance. Just imagine penalty shootout, Australia versus England, and Australia win it. Oh, my gosh. People like Gary, Seb Watson, Jacko, Harrison would cop it. Harrison on this channel would cop it if we beat England in any football match ever. Harrison would cop it, man. Harrison would get that one slapped right down his throat. Sadio Mane comes off the field here for Senegal. Try to get up a few other songs, but only the hardcore active will sing it. The NPCs on the side don't get involved. That's the problem with Australia. If it's not the active area singing, nobody's going to be singing. And that goes for everywhere. It goes for every sport. Australians are very much, I want to go to the game to watch the game. I want the atmosphere, but I don't want to be a part of the atmosphere. That's actually the perfect way to put Australians. I want to be a part of the atmosphere. This is different to me and people here. But the common thought process of going to a game is, I don't want to get involved, but I want you to get involved. Down Under by Men at Work goes hardest for Socceroos. Yeah, what a song. Anytime that anybody asks me in Vietnam here or when I was in India or wherever I go in the world, if someone asks me karaoke, you know it's going to be Down Under. You just simply know it's going to be, I come from a land down under. Oh, here we go, Saudi Arabia on the count. Oh, slapped down for a free kick. That's a yellow card for sure. That's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. 6 minutes to go here. Aussies would rather watch sport on the telly. It's a red card. Is that the second yellow? This is a red card for Senegal. I think he just showed a red card. There's 6 minutes to go here. Oh, yeah, it's dodge. Is that a straight red he's just called? Jeez, like it is a dodge tackle. It is a dodge tackle. No, it is a yellow. It was a yellow, and then... Has there been dissent for the second yellow? It must have been dissent to the referee for the second yellow. Because he only gave a yellow, and then, a second caution for Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, he got a yellow card in the 82nd minute, and then the 84th minute. Yeah, so... Damn, man. That's big. Okay, well, Saudi capitalised. You got 5 minutes to capitalise here. A red card for Senegal. For a second caution there. Well, I think old mate's bet is cooked now. Unfortunately, if you've bet on Senegal, I would not be holding out hope here. They've taken out a guy like Sadio Mane who could change a game on the drop of a hat, and they've also just lost Nicholas Jackson. Game on. Well, game on for Saudi Arabia. Game on for Saudi Arabia. That Argentina versus Iceland game is meant to start in 3 minutes' time, so we're going to be about 5 minutes late for that game. But we will be jumping straight across into it. Assist comes off, and this is a free kick where they're, I'm sure, just going to whip this probably back of the box and then try and head it down into the middle for a goal here. Your 2.5s are cooked, by the way. That's not even going to go to the back of the box. That's not even going to reach the box. But at least it'll bounce out for the Saudi Arabia. And that's going to give a bounce over the sideline. So, yeah, so much for that opportunity. They decide to take the free kick. It's going to go to the edge of the box where a Senegalese defender is just going to whack the ball away, comes out to Saudi Arabia, and then they kick the ball over the sideline. Brilliant stuff. Fantastic stuff. That's exactly what you want to see. Like when you're thinking football, that's exactly the kind of football you're looking for. Just without the wanting to see it and more about the bleeding from the eyes. Senegal, no way. Senegal, no way. Senegal, no way. No way. No way. Oh, he pushed it straight to the keeper. The Saudi defense locked him down pretty well, but he pushes it straight through and it goes to the keeper. Yes, I think adding around a 32 degrades the World Cup. Lots of teams that can't compete. Well, let's see how it pans out, mate. This is the first time we've got it. I do disagree with there being the added teams in. And I do feel like you're going to see Germany smash Curaçao and Spain, really beat Cabo Verde very well. These kind of teams who wouldn't have been there typically. New Zealand wouldn't have typically been here as well, to be completely honest with you. Saudi Arabia are going to get a good steal here. They're going to push this ball. Here's the chance. Here's the chance. Saudi Arabia. Oh, that could have gone anywhere off the bounce, but that is going to go over for a throw-in. There was the opportunity. There's still going to be another chance. That was their chance. No, there's still 3 minutes plus out of time. I still feel like there's going to be another chance here for the Saudis. Or unless you're talking about Senegal. Best believe I came to the US and Canada to create some sort of atmosphere. The pre-game pubs will be good. Yeah, pre-game pubs are always awesome. Is Aldal Sari playing? Yes. Yes, he is. I don't know if he's still on. Parkies has to be at least 10 minutes of extra time, of added time. There's been a couple of stoppages. You haven't been seeing in these international friendlies. You don't see an amazing amount of added time added on. I probably would more so be looking towards the 6 or 7 mark, and there's going to be a free kick coming up here for Saudi Arabia in their own defensive box. You're probably more so going to be looking around the 5 to 7 mark. I think 10 minutes might be a bit too juicy. But then again, you do have the hydration break that they've got to add on. You do have that injury just now, so maybe we'll see. Puggis, it's not fair as a punter if they cut the time short. Well, I don't know if there's been 10 minutes, though. Like 5 to 7 is probably what I would be aiming for. And again, they are quite lenient in international friendlies. But I get where you're coming from. Do you think we'll see another upset to the level of Saudi and Argentina this World Cup? Saudi-Argentina is mental. I don't know. You would have to see. Oh, who would have that level of an upset? That level? You dead set need to be seeing Curaçao beat Germany. Germany are not a perfect product by any means at the moment, but Germany are not losing that game. Based off of the overall thoughts, maybe Australia Turkey. No, it's not going to be the same. All right, here we go. People might might try and claim Morocco over Brazil, but it's just not an upset. Well, it's an upset, but it's just not a crazy upset. Senegal. Here we go. In the box. Web it back. Have a crack. Why would you pass that? Take the shot, man. Iraq are not beating France. Cape Verde are not beating Spain. Why would he pass that on the edge of the box? Have a shot. 90 minutes are up now. We're just waiting to see how many added minutes there will be. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. We'll be live for Argentina versus Iceland immediately after this game finishes. And then tomorrow we will have Costa Rica taking on England. Oh, here we go. Saudi's got some big space. 5 minutes. See, that's what I was saying. They put that ball into the box, and that'll be cleared away. You know what? I will rate that Senegal haven't just given up as soon as they got that red card. Just throwing a live bet for Saudi to win. It'd be good odds, considering there's only 5 minutes and now there's only 4.5 minutes to go here. Don't mind it, considering the red card. But also, Senegal they haven't given up, considering. Oh, why would the left winger not rush that ball? What is Saudi doing? Senegal, they're going to break away themselves here. Okay, this is very open-ended at the moment. Pass the ball, dude. Pass the ball. Okay, throw in. Four minutes to go of added time. So who did you get on, Parky? What was your bet? Was your bet Senegal or Saudi Arabia? My early upset is Haiti to beat the Scots. Look, shout. I'm not going to say completely no to it because Scotland aren't exactly a perfect product. I've got Scotland to beat Haiti, but that'd be a pretty cool shout. That'd be pretty cool. I'm on over 0.5, 1.5, and 2.5 goals. Well, look, brother, you can forget the 1.5 and 2.5, but over 0.5, you're pleading right now. You're pleading. And again, I would have agreed with you pre-game 2.5 should have been a lock. Should have been. But you can forget that now, man. 3 minutes to go here. Senegal on the attack, in the corner. Whip this ball in. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself that opportunity. There is always an opportunity. Saudi Arabia steal the ball. As I always say, there is going to be an opportunity for one of these teams in this 3 minute stanza. There will be a chance. Whether you take it or not is a whole different equation, but there will be a chance. Saudi Arabia now are breaking away. Here we go. Down the corner. Speed. Here we go. Here's the chance. They whip it in, and no one's there to get the shot, and it's going to break back out here for Saudi Arabia, who are pushing. They're outside the edge of the box. They push to the left wing. I don't know if that was the chance. It's a pretty good opportunity, though. Here we go. Whip it. No, didn't have a shot. Whip it. Didn't have a shot. They're just not risking it for the biscuit right now. And now Senegal are going to grab the ball. 2.5 minutes left here. The end of the day gets dark. Yeah, thank you for that really intellectual knowledge, Parky. That is... I'm probably going to get that tattooed on myself. That's just unbelievable stuff. It does get pretty dark at the end of the day, to be fair. Unless you're in like a Norway, then you're a liar. If you're talking about Norway or you're talking about Iceland and whatnot, sometimes the end of the day is still light. Senegal is going to be away. No, Saudi Arabia steal the ball, and there's going to be a free kick to Senegal here. So, yeah, you're a bit of a liar if we're talking about that part of the world. Thomas says, I need Senegal to score for my bet. Well, they're going to have there's a minute 40 to go here. Senegal do have a red card, though, man. I do need to remind you of that. Senegal do have the red card to Nicholas Jackson in the 84th minute. But we've got a minute and a half to go here. Senegal with the ball. Haaland hasn't seen the dark. I was actually, funny enough, speaking of this situation, I was funny enough watching an Instagram reel yesterday of someone showing that it was 3:30 in the morning and it was dead set like midday. It looked like midday. In football, anything can happen, Parky. You're right. You are right. Anything can happen at any time. Look at yesterday. It was 1-0. 1-0 to Chile over Congo in the 86th minute, and it ended 2-1 to Chile. So it got pretty crazy there. Look at Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona back in the day. Back a few years ago. 5 goals in the last 6-7 minutes. Yeah, there you go. Oh, let's just talk about Norway from there. Yes, it is not dark now. It's 3 a.m. Yeah, take that, Parky. Senegal just outside the box. Saudi they can counter. They can counter. Here we go. Take that. Take that, Parky. You've just been proven wrong live by Ole. Saudi Arabia pushing forward. This will be the last chance of the game.
This will be the last chance right here. And they slow it down. Amazing. Amazing stuff. They slow it down. I'm really looking forward to seeing Norway in this tournament, though. We will be live for them. We'll be live for as many games as we possibly can, guys. 10 seconds to go here. And they whip this ball into the corner. Can they get there? No, that's going to be a throw-in. I would assume the referee will blow the whistle any moment now. There is the whistle, folks. This game will end 0-0 between Senegal and Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, neither one of these teams just had the ability to break through here today. We saw plenty of opportunities fall, but unfortunately, none of them were able to actually go into the back of the net. And I would say that Senegal really should have gotten a goal when they were in the middle of the box, and it fell straight to the man in the middle, and unfortunately, he blasted it over to the top of the goalpost. But outside of that, yeah, look, it was a pretty evenly matched game here between these two teams. Now, cowards. Now, guys, I'm going to have to jump off this stream. We're going to be going straight across to the Argentina versus Iceland game, which will finish us up here for the day. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this stream and you love the football content. We're going to be smashing out live for this World Cup. So if you love your football, this is the place to be. And obviously, yeah, subscribe if you are new around here. But I will see you in quite literally a minute or two time, because that game is getting underway now. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.